Grade 2s are the front linie of every strategy in Cardfight Vanguard. They are either strong offensive beaters or the main center line of your strategy. They held great responsible powers that allows you to push for game or either capitalize on your main strategy that your deck revolves around. This year we have seen some astonishing cards in this lineup that are used in every single deck for their respective strategies, and today we're gonna take a look at the strongest and the best of the best of these particular cards. As today, I'm presenting to you guys the best Grade 2s of 2019.
Stand up! Vanguard!
Yesterday we ended the list with Nova Grappler, so let's start this list with them. The first Grade 2 we're going to highlight is a unit that allowed Nova Grappler to capitalize on their playstyle, and that is none other than Stylish Hustler. Nova Grappler is a clan that resends their units and plays very aggressively. This means you're going to get a lot of damage quickly and you need your units. The best way to capitalize on this is a unit that is a strong beater, benefit from having more damage and have some reoccursion or stabilizing effect. And Stylish Hustler is all that in one neat little package. Having a card that can become an easy 15k beater in the early game is great for tempo, and then late game it can become a solid 21 to 24k beater without a booster or actual power. This combined with the anti-control effect changed the game for Nova Grappler. Now Nova Grappler has a better early game and a more controlled late game, as they can beat over defensive trigger, which was the clan's biggest weakness. Another game changer card is Clear Out Dragon's Reaper Acro Kanto. This card could become a massive beater and could get a resist effect, and on top of all that, it retains its power during the opponent's turn. Resist cards are already annoying enough to deal with, but luckily you could hard remove them by just ramming into them. But this card could become so powerful that you couldn't get rid of it if you don't have a non-targetable removal. This card combined with the place of Tachikaze makes the clan all the more deadly, as it keeps units and gauges on the field, which was the hardest thing for the clan. Also, this card allows the clan to achieve an Exodia status and most likely will be used for years to come until they moved away from the gauge mechanic. In yesterday's video we talked about an amazing Grade 1 for Spike Brothers, and during that segment we mentioned this card, so it's more than obvious that it would get a spot in this video. I'm of course referring to Powerback Renaldo. Powerback Renaldo is such an amazing card that allows for so much crazy plays. On Grade 2 you can call 2 units, and combined with Offensive Punter you can build an entire board out of nowhere. On turn 3 you can call whole field with this card, and it even scales with premium as you get more choices as you get to check the top 4 cards on a stride turn. Also, the fact that you shove a card in the soul for the cost isn't an actual cost, as it can fuel other skills or set up future combos. No matter what the cards you call from this ability, it will help your game state, as you can shove triggers back into the deck with cards like Bad and Dragger. Renaldo helped Spike Brothers to establish their tempo game, as you can combine this card with other superior call units like Spike Bouncers and Gyro Slinger to build boards out of nowhere, and that with solid beaters like Offensive Punter, Juggernaut Maximum and High Speed Brocky completes the package. Another card that is part of the package that was touched upon in yesterday's video is Variant's Hard Lag. This card changed a lot for the clan, but also for Vanguard. The Battle Dory effect was an interesting guard restrict that was executed successfully in some cases and failed horribly in others. But with the introduction of the heroes of Nova Grappler, we were introduced to this supercharged Battle Dory effect. But it wasn't that great, as it was behind a Counter Blast 4 ability. This execution, however, changed everything, as you can resolve this ability turn after turn after turn, as long as you have a copy in hand, and in premium that's not always necessary. That combined with other strong finishes like other guard restrict cards in premium or Hope on Damp can make unguardable situations, and that with the multi-attack cards like NLK, Master of Fifth, Bladdermouth and Enigmatic Assassin gives Dark Irregulars so much win condition that it allows them to adapt to any type of meta to come. Nova Grappler got a lot of amazing cards this year, and it's the 4th card that we're gonna highlight, and it won't be the last. If we're talking about amazing Grade 2s this year, there is no way that we can ignore Kick Typhoon. If one card really changed the game for Nova Grappler, it was Kick. Novas finally got a rearguard restander skill that gave them control to restand any unit whenever they want. This allowed Novas to restand a unit after your Vanguard attacks, so you can get multiple uses out of your triggers stacked on top of your units. This combined with other restanders like Grand's Dragon, Illuminal Dragon and Azure Dragon allowed the new Beast Deity deck to have an unpredictable attack patterns, making it really hard to guard effectively. This card also changed a lot for premium Novas, as you finally have a strong early game potential as you can set up for your stride turns. This is also the main strength of the card, as it's very generic, making it useful even in the upcoming future support. Even the new God Hand Dragon deck can really use Kick Typhoon, as it can reuse any strong rearguard unit that gets benefit from things happening during or after the Vanguard attacks. And this is going to keep being a thing, as we're going to keep getting stronger and stronger rearguards. When we talk about cards that only get better the more cards are released, then Greed Shade is definitely a card that comes to mind. This card fixes the biggest issue for Grand Blue. Thanks to this card, you can get any card from the drop zone to your hand, making your drop zone an actual extra toolbox. Not only can you reuse an on-place effect from hand, but you can also finally rewrite consistently. But on top of that, you can reuse Perfect Guard and get more shield to hand in time of need. The fact this card doesn't have to be on place from hand is a game changer, because you can keep reusing the skill over and over again without needing to draw into multiple copies. This card also changed a lot for Grand Blue's endgame, as in standard they can more easily set up an unguardable flanger, but in premium, this card can help you turbo to their OTK Megiddo turn, as they not only accelerate their milling, but they can always get their ultimate stride fodder to hand without any issue. Just like Kick, this card can only become better and better the more powerful cards we're going to get, as this thing is such a powerful generic consistency card. Lay Down the Leader Given isn't a card on many people's mind when talking about the best grade 2s of this year, but we have to keep in mind how deadly this card is, as it allows a Force Vanguard with a natural extra crit hit multiple times. Also, the fact it could discard cards from hand made draw triggers more powerful. But the main strength of this card comes from its premium applications, as in premium you could combine this with any card as long as you could delete your opponent's Vanguard. And as seen as Link Joker has some powerful generic Messiah strides, we saw the birth of a Deletor Messiah hybrid deck that allows you to potentially restand your Vanguard twice and multi-attack with rearguards at the same time. All the while your opponent's Vanguard was at 0 power. This could end games on the spot, but the other insane thing was, thanks to its ability to restand any Vanguard, we could finally activate Integral Messiah's hand reset skill on the second stride turn, making it a more viable skill. Sadly, currently this deck has been moved to the background because of Token Rush and Ezel, but this deck could easily make a comeback thanks to the fact that Given doesn't require a specific Vanguard, unlike its predecessor. Given isn't the only card that might have gone under some people's radars, as not that long ago we got Battle Maiden Mitsuki, and this unit had a very simple skill: on right, gain a force marker. That might not sound that impressive, but having a force marker a turn earlier is insane for multiple reasons. Remember what I said in a previous video about Offensive Punter, how amazing a 10k booster is for early tempo? This card generates that 10k booster without having to use a card from hand, and it will always stay on the field. This also helps the new Astral deck considerably, so it's a win-win situation right there. But if we take a look at the premium side of things, having a non-grade 3 generating force markers opens up to so much more deck choices, as you aren't forced to run V-Series grade 3 for the extra marker. So before, you couldn't benefit from the stride bonus of cards like Fenrir and Amaruta without sacrificing the potential force markers. But in the case where we want to sit on a 13k base, you can now run non-force grade 3s if they have a more favorable skill without having to sacrifice the force marker. This card also is an insane grade 2 game card if your opponent wants to play the grade 2 game, as you can keep rewriting into this card and keep generating more markers. So on first glance, this card might look simple and not all that incredible, but once you start dissecting the card, you start to see the true potential. The last couple of cards are unlike the previous one, as everyone knew immediately how strong these cards would become. And first, we have Emblem Master. This card is crazy powerful for many reasons. It is a solid all-rounder with strong offensive as well as defensive capabilities, but its true potential lies in its main ability to fill the soul with a whole group of cards in one go. This is an excellent card to support variants Hard Leg and Killer Tail, but this will also translate really well into standard and premium strategies, as it can ramp up your soul count insanely fast. Another byproduct of this ability is that you can filter your deck for free cards in one go, and late game you can keep soul charging from the drop zone so you won't threaten yourself with deck out. This makes the card very useful in all kinds of playstyles, as it can go towards a turbo deck like we've seen with premium Gastille builds. It can help standard NOK and Brufus build, as it enables your finishers like Master 5th, Hope on Them and variant Hard Leg, but it can also be used in a more controlled defensive build with Dentarian. That all combined makes this a very versatile card that would probably find its way in many decks to come. A card that was regarded insane the moment that it was announced and definitely fulfilled the promise is Chocolove Heart Lieselot. This card is insane for so many reasons. It is a Spike Brothers and Gold Paladin card in Bermuda Triangle that could be called on turn 1. That combined with the Melody Engine was a recipe for disaster. And oh boy, this card was out of control. Being able to hit a grade 3 Melody unit on turn 1 is insanely unfair, and for good reasons was limited in standard. However, with the upcoming Crystal Melody set, we can see this card will make a comeback, as it can work perfectly with all 3 new archetypes, and that really showcases how powerful this card actually is. The fact that you can call a grade 2 on turn 1 is a crazy tempo play, but the fact that you can go +1 for free or fill your soul is crazy. In Coral's case, filling the soul helps you for your resource game, but same can be said about Lieselot herself, as you can keep reusing her turn after turn if you want to, as you can bounce her back with Coral's main ability. She also combines really well with Pacifica and Riviere, as she can help you dig deeper and faster towards your grade 3s, which the whole decks play around. So just like many other cards on this list, this card will probably find its way in future builds to come. Now for the final card, we go back to the beginning of this year and we see yet another card which has some insane value printed on the card, as we find Binoculus Tiger. This grade 2 together with Binoculus Tiger and Leopold introduced us to the new Great Nature Gacha mechanic. And oh boy, you couldn't go wrong with this card. Getting a draw for a counterblast is what some clans could only wish for, and that was the bad outcome for this card, as if you were lucky, you get to retire one of your opponent's units and give 3 of your units plus 5k power. This could result in a massive swing in the game's momentum, and this could result in that 3 attacks that couldn't hit before that now can suddenly hit or reach high enough numbers that your opponent cannot guard all those attacks anymore. That alone makes this card insanely valuable and was the main target if it ever entered the field. But now with the release of the Mysterious Fortune, this card became even better, as now you will get both effects for a single counterblast. This means you go +1 on hand, -1 on your opponent's field, and you give 3 units plus 5k power. This is arguably worth 2 to 3 counterblast, and you get it for the discount of only 1 counterblast. This card went from an already powerful unit to an insanely broken card that will be used until we step away from the mill mechanic, or when we replace Isabelle as a main Vanguard. And there you have it, the best grade 2s that were released in 2019 throughout the year, and I might have overlooked some grade 2s or your fan favorites, so let me know in the comments down below what your favorite grade 2s or what you think are the best grade 2s released this year, and let me know your list in the comments down below with, of course, your reasoning why a certain card should be regarded as one of the best grade 2s of 2019, as there were a lot of awesome cards released this year. As always, I want to thank my Patreon supporters for making this video and everything happening on the channel possible. You guys are amazing. If you do want to support the channel or everything that's happening on the channel, then you can head over to patreon.com/VanguardInsider and become a Patreon today. Well, with that said, I'm Mr. Timeleaf, and I see you guys in the next one.